Then another wonderful thing happened. One evening, when Charlotte went to the southeast gap, the tall lady with the black eyes was not in the garden. At least, Charlotte thought she wasn't. But the very handsome cat was, sitting gravely under a syringa bush and looking quite proud of himself for being a cat.
"You very handsome cat, won't you come here and let me stroke you?"
The very handsome cat did come, just as if he understood English, and he purred with delight when Charlotte took him in her arms and buried her face in his fur. Then Charlotte thought she would really sink into the ground, for the tall lady herself came around a lilac bush and stood before the gap.
"Please, ma'am,"
stammered Charlotte in an agony of embarrassment.
"I wasn't meaning to do any harm to your very handsome cat. I just wanted to pat him. I am very fond of cats, and they are not allowed in orphan asylums."
"Bless your heart, child. Don't look so scared. You are welcome to pat the cat all you like. Come in, and I'll give you some flowers."
"Thank you, but I am not allowed to go off the grounds. And I think I'd rather not have any flowers, because the matron might want to know where I got them, and then she would have this gap closed up."
"No!"
"I live in mortal dread for fear it will be closed anyhow. It's very uncomfortable, living in mortal dread."
Then they had a jolly talk, and every evening after that Charlotte went to the gap and stroked the very handsome cat and chatted to the tall lady.
"Do you live all alone in that big house?"
"All alone."
"Did you always live alone?"
"No, I had a sister living with me once, but I don't want to talk about her. You'll oblige me, Charlotte, by not talking about her."
"I won't then. I can understand why people don't like to have their sisters talked about sometimes. Lily Mitchell has a big sister who was sent to jail for stealing. Of course, Lily doesn't like to talk about her."
"My sister didn't steal. She married a man I detested, that's all."
"Did he drink?" "The matron's husband drank, and that was why she left him and took to running an orphan asylum. I think I'd rather put up with a drunken husband than live in an orphan asylum."
"My sister's husband didn't drink. He was beneath her, that was all. I told her I'd never forgive her, and I never shall. He's dead now. He died a year after she married him, and she's working for her living. I dare say she doesn't find it very pleasant. She wasn't brought up to that. Here, Charlotte, is a turnover for you. I made it on purpose for you. Eat it and tell me if you don't think I'm a good cook. I'm dying for a compliment. I never get any now that I've got old. It's a dismal thing to get old and have nobody to love you, except a cat, Charlotte."
"I think it is just as bad to be young and have nobody to love you, not even a cat,"
sighed Charlotte, enjoying the turnover nonetheless.
"I dare say it is,"
agreed the tall lady, looking as if she had been struck by a new and rather startling idea. Then the most wonderful thing of all happened. One day a week later, the pretty lady said, "Would you like to come and live with me, Charlotte?"
"Are you in earnest?"
"Indeed I am. I want you for my little girl, and if you'd like to come, you shall. I'm poor, Charlotte, really. I'm dreadfully poor, but I can make my salary stretch far enough for two, and we'll love each other enough to cover the thin spots. Will you come?"
"Well, I should just think I will."
Yay!
"I wish I was sure I'm not dreaming. I do love you so much, and it will be so delightful to be your little girl."
"Very well, sweetheart. I'll come tomorrow afternoon. It is Saturday, so I'll have the whole blessed day off and see the matron about it. Oh, we'll have lovely times together, dearest. I only wish I had discovered you long ago.
Charlotte may have eaten and studied and played and kept rules the rest of that day and part of the next, but if so, she had no recollection of it. She went about like a girl in a dream because a lady came that afternoon and told her she wanted to adopt Charlotte.
Hip, hip, hooray!
Charlotte obeyed the summons to the matron's room in a tingle of excitement. But when she went in, she saw only the matron and the tall lady with the black eyes.
Charlotte, this lady, Miss Herbert, wishes to adopt you. It is a splendid thing for you, and you ought to be a very thankful little girl.
Charlotte's head fairly whirled. She clasped her hands, and the tears brimmed up in her eyes.
Oh, I like the tall lady, but I love the pretty lady, and I promised her I'd be her little girl. I can't break my promise.
What on earth is the child talking about?
And just then, the maid showed in the pretty lady. Charlotte flew to her and flung her arms about her.
Oh, tell them I am your little girl. Tell them I promised you first. I don't want to hurt the tall lady's feelings because I truly do like her so very much, but I want to be your little girl.
Aww.
The pretty lady had given one glance at the tall lady and flushed red. The tall lady, on the contrary, had grown very pale. The matron felt uncomfortable. Everybody knew that Miss Herbert and Mrs. Bond hadn't spoken to each other for years, even if they were sisters and alone in the world except for each other.
What?
Mrs. Bond turned to the matron. I have come to ask permission to adopt this little girl.
Oh, I'm very sorry, but Miss Herbert has just asked for her, and I have consented.
Charlotte gave a great gulp of disappointment, but the pretty lady suddenly wheeled around to face the tall lady with quivering lips and tearful eyes.
Don't take her from me, Alma. She is so like my own baby, and I'm so lonely. Any other child will suit you as well. Not at all. Not at all, Anna. No other child will suit me at all. And may I ask what you intend to keep her on? I know your salary is barely enough for yourself. That is my concern. Just as independent as ever, Anna, I see. Well, child, what do you say? Which of us will you come with? Remember, I have the cat on my side, and Anna can't make half as good turnovers as I can. Remember all this, Charlotte.
Oh, I like you so much, and I wish I could live with you both. But since I can't, I must go with the pretty lady because I promised and because I loved her first.
And best?
And best,
Admitted Charlotte, bound to be truthful, even at the risk of hurting the tall lady's feelings.
but I do like you too, next best. And you really don't need me as much as she does, for you have your very handsome cat, and she hasn't anything.
A cat no longer satisfies the aching void in my soul. Nothing will satisfy it but a little girl with mouse-colored hair and freckles. No, Anna, I've got to have Charlotte. But I think that with her usual astuteness, she has already solved the problem for us by saying she'd like to live with us both. Why can't she? You just come back home and we'll let bygones be bygones. We both have something to forgive, but I was an obstinate old fool and I've known it for years, though I never confessed it to anybody but the cat.
The pretty lady softened, trembled, smiled. She went right up to the tall lady and put her arms around her neck.
Oh, I I've wanted so much to be friends with you again, but I thought you would never relent, and I've been so lonely. There, don't cry under the matron's eye. Wait till we get home. I may have some crying to do myself then. Charlotte, go and get your hat and come right over with us. We can sign the necessary papers later on, but we must have you right off. The cat is waiting for you on the back porch, and there is a turnover cooling on the pantry window that is just your size.
I am so happy that I feel like crying myself.
Oh, did that story just not warm your heart? Oh, it did mine. Oh, two sisters who have never spoken a very long time, coming together finally. I hope you enjoyed Charlotte's Ladies, the story, this love story. And I hope you will return when I have another love story. So until we meet again, I bid you good day and good love.
We hope that you will like and subscribe to Sheryllyn's YouTube channel.
Traditional Classic Tales read by Sherlynn.